Love for others often begins with a quiet awakening inside us, a moment when we realize that every human being we encounter is carrying a world that is just as real and fragile as our own. When we pause long enough to see someone not as a background figure but as a living story, compassion begins to rise naturally. Their hopes, their fears, the wounds they never speak of, these things exist beneath the surface, hidden behind polite smiles or tired eyes. And in recognizing that truth, we open the door to a deeper kindness, one that grows not from obligation but from understanding. Loving others starts with this awareness that every soul is fighting, hoping, dreaming, and yearning for something. And when we choose to honor that shared humanity, even in small ways, we become a source of gentle light in a world that so often forgets how to care. There are days when loving others feels easy, especially when the people around us are kind, warm, and familiar. But the true test of love appears in moments of difficulty, when misunderstandings arise, when tempers flare, when someone fails to meet our expectations. It is in these messy and comfortable spaces that love reveals its deepest strength. Choosing patience when we want to snap, choosing empathy when we want to judge, choosing forgiveness when holding a grudge feels easier. These are acts of extraordinary courage. They don't make us weak. They make us more human. They remind us that love is not a passive emotion but an active decision to rise above our ego and see the bigger picture. It is a choice to understand rather than assume, to listen rather than dismiss, to stay soft even in moments that try to harden us. Sometimes the greatest form of love is simply allowing people to be themselves. Far too often we carry silent expectations, hoping others will behave the way we want, think the way we think, or love the way we love. But real love gives breathing room. It does not demand perfection or performance. It does not try to reshape someone into a version that feels more convenient. Instead, it creates a safe space where people feel free to show their true selves, flaws and all. When we choose to accept others without forcing them into a mold, we are telling them, "You are enough. You are welcome here. You don't have to pretend." And those words, spoken or unspoken, can heal wounds that have existed for years. Loving others also means recognizing that everyone is growing, evolving, and learning at their own pace. No one is born knowing how to navigate life gracefully. People make mistakes, stumble through their emotions, and sometimes act from places of pain. Instead of viewing these moments as reasons to distance ourselves, love invites us to look deeper. What fear might be driving their actions? What scars might be influencing their choices? When we shift from judgment to curiosity, disappointment often transforms into empathy. We begin to realize that hurt people are not inherently unlovable. They are simply carrying burdens that have shaped them. And in offering compassion rather than criticism, we contribute to someone else's healing, even if only in a small way. There will be times when loving others requires strength we don't feel we have. Maybe we've been betrayed, ignored, or misunderstood. Maybe someone we cared about deeply left without explanation. In these moments, it can be tempting to close our hearts, to protect ourselves by building walls too high for anyone to climb. But love, at its core, is not about avoiding pain. It is about choosing openness even when it feels risky. It is about giving ourselves permission to feel deeply, to connect honestly, and to trust again, not because others are perfect, but because our humanity deserves connection. When we keep our hearts open, even after being hurt, we prove that love within us is stronger than the wounds that tried to break us. There is a unique kind of beauty in everyday acts of kindness, small moments that often go unnoticed. Holding the door for someone, offering a genuine compliment, sending a message to check in on a friend, or choosing to speak gently when we could speak harshly. These things might seem insignificant, but they ripple outward in ways we can't measure. A single kind gesture can change the course of someone's day, and sometimes even their life. Love does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet, simple, and hidden within ordinary routines. But its impact is anything but ordinary. The world becomes softer when we fill it with little acts of care. Loving others also teaches us about ourselves. It reveals our insecurities, our fears, and our strengths. When we try to understand others, we often discover parts of our own heart that we have ignored. We realize how much we crave acceptance, how deeply we long to be seen, and how healing it feels when someone treats us with gentleness. In learning how to love outwardly, we learn how to love inwardly. Compassion toward others becomes a mirror that reflects the compassion we owe ourselves. In this way, loving others is not a sacrifice, it is an expansion of our own humanity. At times, love asks us to show up even when it's inconvenient. It asks us to listen when we're tired, to comfort someone when we are struggling ourselves, to forgive when we'd rather forget. But these moments do not drain us. They deepen us. Every act of love stretches the heart, making it more capable, more resilient, more open. The more we give, the more we grow. And the more we grow, the more we discover that love is not a limited resource. It multiplies each time it is shared. There is something profoundly inspiring about remembering that everyone we meet is part of a story we know nothing about. The person next to us on the bus might be grieving. The cashier at the store might be fighting anxiety. The friend who always seems cheerful might be hiding a struggle they are too afraid to talk about. When we choose kindness, we are choosing to treat people with a tenderness their unseen battles deserve. And somewhere, someone will feel less alone because of it. Loving others is also an act of courage. It requires vulnerability to care deeply without guarantees, to give without always receiving, to open ourselves to connection knowing it may not last forever. But it is this vulnerability that makes love meaningful. Without risk, there is no depth. Without openness, there is no real understanding. Love asks us to show up fully, not just in the moments that feel easy, but in the moments that require faith in something bigger than our fear. Sometimes love means stepping back and allowing others to grow on their own. It means respecting boundaries, giving space, and trusting that distance does not diminish care. Love does not cling tightly out of fear. It holds gently out of trust. When we allow people room to evolve, we honor their journey, even if it temporarily takes them in a direction away from us. And often, that freedom becomes the very thing that allows love to deepen over time. There will be times when we feel drained, exhausted, or unnoticed in our efforts to love others. But love is not measured by immediate results. Sometimes the seeds we plant in the hearts of others take months or years to grow. A kind word we offered today may become someone's strength tomorrow. A moment of patience may become someone's memory of safety. The love we give does not disappear. It transforms into something lasting, something that continues to touch lives long after the moment has passed. True love for others is not about being heroic. It is about being human. It is about showing up authentically, imperfectly, and wholeheartedly. It is choosing to see beyond the surface and connecting with the deeper essence that makes us all the same. It is remembering that we are not separate, but connected threads woven into the same vast tapestry of life. In the end, loving others is not just a gift we offer them. It is a gift we offer ourselves. It brings purpose to our days, meaning to our actions, and warmth to our hearts. It transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. It reminds us that even in a world filled with noise, uncertainty, and challenge, we have the power to create beauty through the way we care. The truth is simple yet profound: love is the one thing that multiplies when shared, the one thing that strengthens when given freely, the one thing that brings light even into the darkest corners of our lives. And when we choose to love others not in grand, dramatic ways, but in steady, honest, everyday ways, we help build a world that feels a little kinder, a little softer, and a little more human. And as we continue learning how to love others, we begin to notice something subtle yet powerful. The more compassion we extend outward, the more clarity we gain inward. Loving others sharpens our awareness of what truly matters. It pulls us away from superficial concerns and draws us closer to the essence of being human. Suddenly, achievements feel less important than connection. Success feels incomplete without someone to share it with. Even ordinary moments begin to glow differently, as if kindness itself softens the edges of life and makes everything a little easier to carry. There are days when we wake up feeling heavy, unsure of our place, and certain of our worth. On those days, the kindness of another person can feel like a lifeline. A single sentence, "I'm here for you," or "you're not alone," it can breathe life back into a tired heart. In these moments, we realize just how important we are in each other's lives. We may not always have the power to solve someone's problems, but we always have the power to make their journey less lonely. And sometimes, that is enough to help someone take one more step forward. As we grow in love, we also learn to be gentle with the hesitation we carry. Many of us were taught to protect ourselves, to guard our emotions, to avoid vulnerability at all costs. But true love that heals, that connects, that endures requires a willingness to be seen. It asks us to tear down the walls we built to survive, and trust that not everyone who approaches us comes to hurt us. This kind of openness is not weakness. It is strength. It is standing in front of the world with a tender heart and saying, I choose connection anyway. Sometimes loving others means letting go of our need to be right. Arguments, misunderstandings, and pride have broken more relationships than true incompatibility ever did. Choosing love means choosing peace over ego. It means stepping back long enough to say, I care about this person more than I care about winning this moment. It is easier said than done, but incredibly powerful when practiced. Peace grows in relationships where love is chosen consistently. Even in the middle of frustration, there will also be times when giving love feels like pouring from an empty cup. Times when we are tired, overwhelmed, or carrying our own storms. In those seasons, love reminds us that rest is not selfish. We cannot pour endlessly without refilling ourselves. Loving others does not mean abandoning our own needs. It means caring for ourselves so we can continue to show up fully. A rested heart gives better. A healed heart loves deeper. Self-care and compassion for others are not opposites, they are partners in the same dance. Love teaches us patience, not just with others but with the unfolding of life itself. People grow at different speeds. Relationships evolve in unpredictable ways. Healing takes time. Understanding takes effort. When we choose to love others consistently, we begin to trust the process more. We stop trying to force outcomes and instead allow connection to deepen naturally. Love is not rushed. It blooms slowly, like a sunrise spreading across a quiet sky. One of the greatest gifts of loving others is witnessing their transformation. There is something profoundly beautiful about seeing someone soften, open, or heal because of a kindness you offered. Maybe they learn to trust again. Maybe they begin to believe in themselves after years of doubt. Maybe your presence helped them see the world differently. These transformations remind us that every act of love, no matter how small, has the potential to shift the trajectory of someone's life. Loving others also requires courage to admit when we're wrong. Apologies are not signs of defeat, they are bridges. They repair what tension tried to tear apart. When we approach others with humility, conversations become easier, conflicts resolve faster, and trust grows stronger. Love thrives in environments where honesty and humility walk hand in hand. In moments of silence, those long pauses where no words are spoken, love often reveals itself most clearly. A supportive hand on the shoulder, a shared glance that says, I understand, a quiet presence beside someone who is grieving. These are the moments that go beyond language. They remind us that love is not always expressed through speech, but through presence. Being there is sometimes the greatest act of love, and as we travel through life, we begin to realize that loving others is not just something we do, it becomes part of who we are. It shapes our character, our values, our worldview. It influences the way we respond to challenges and the way we treat strangers. It becomes the foundation of the legacy we leave behind. Long after we are gone, people may forget our achievements, but they will never forget how we made them feel. Love, in all its forms, is the quiet force that keeps the world from falling apart. It softens hardened hearts, lifts those who are sinking, and reminds us that we belong to one another. It bridges religions, cultures, backgrounds, and differences. It is the thread that sews humanity together, one small gesture at a time. And the most beautiful truth is this: when we choose to love others, we are also choosing to love life itself. We are saying yes to connection, yes to understanding, yes to being part of something bigger than our individual existence. In loving others, we discover a deeper, richer, more meaningful way to live.